Now, I remember one day when Jim was in the hospital, I asked him, "Why do you believe you got cancer?" And I'll never forget his answer. He looked at me and he said, "You know, Dr. Geffen, I know why I got cancer. I got cancer because I'm a sinner, and I've sinned, and God is punishing me for my sins." And his words felt like a knife stabbing me in the heart. It was so painful, because he was angry, for sure, but he was a beautiful man, and there was a loving heart in there. And when he revealed so vulnerably his truth, that he believed he was a sinner, that he believed he deserved to suffer because of something he had done, it was just agonizing to me to hear this. And I realized that if we didn't work on this, it wouldn't matter how many gallons of chemotherapy we gave him. It wouldn't possibly have a chance of working if he deeply believed inside that he deserved to suffer. Even if we were able to get his cancer in remission, he'd still be a miserable, suffering human being. And we wouldn't have done the fullest that we could do for him. So I did an intervention with him over the coming days where I just very gently guided him through the 7 levels of healing, where we did some emotional healing work in level 4, and where we began to examine his beliefs about the meaning of his illness. And it totally transformed him. And it didn't cure his cancer, but it changed everything about his experience of life. It changed his relationship with his doctors, with the nurses, with the medical staff, completely transformed his relationship with his wife. And perhaps most importantly, it transformed the legacy that he left his children, because they remembered his father as a kind and loving, joyful man, not as an angry and bitter human being. So that was a very powerful example, of which there are so many, many in my experience. Now, the other fellow, George, again, same age, same diagnosis. So many things about George were demographically identical to Jim, but George was a very different kind of person. He was kind, smiling, happy, grateful all the time. This is a guy who was joyful, even though he had cancer, who found that place of joy in himself. And it was very inspiring to be with him, and he was the kind of guy that everybody would fight over to take care of when he went in the hospital, or if he came in our cancer center, the nurses would run to see who could take his blood pressure that day, because it was just so beautiful being around him. And when he was in the hospital, one day I asked him if he would tell me why he believed that he got cancer. And I'll never forget his answer. Equally powerful, but completely different than Jim's answer. And George said to me, "Dr. Geffen, I don't know why I got cancer. In fact, I have no idea why this happened. I wish to God it had never happened. I wish I didn't have to deal with this. And I certainly don't know why I got it. But I'll tell you this cancer is bringing me closer to my Creator and to my loved ones than I could have ever imagined. And I wish I never had to go through this. But because of this experience, I have met people who are more kind and loving than I could have imagined. I never dreamed there were so many strangers that I would meet that would offer their love and kindness to me. I never dreamed that I would have an experience that would bring me so close to my wife and children. And so even though I wish this didn't happen to me, on some level, deep inside, I know it's okay, because of who I'm becoming, what I'm discovering, and the amount of love and kindness I've experienced as a result.